It is now winter. The dwarves are ready to fight the monsters and attend to disaster. Or are they? This is Dwarfs Winter.
In this video, we're going to show you what to expect from Dwarfs Winter, and if you watch till the end, we hope you can get a feel for how the game plays. Coming up. Hi, it's Tarrant.
And Stella from Meeple University. Okay, let's get into it.
Released in 2018 via Kickstarter, Dwarfs Winter is a semi-cooperative defense game with a deck-building element. It is the second in the Dwarfs series of games designed by Louis Breu and published by Vesuvius Media. The game plays 2 to 4 players in 45 minutes with a solo mode, and is of medium complexity. Although set in the same universe as the other Dwarfs games, Dwarfs Winter is a standalone game and does not require knowledge of the rest of the series to play. In Dwarfs Winter, each player controls a team of dwarves trying to protect the kingdom from invading hordes of monsters and the onset of disasters. Collectively, the players need to prevent any monsters from invading the central castle and prevent 4 disasters from simultaneously befalling the land. Privately, players will gain points through these collective tasks, such as defeating the monsters and resolving the disasters, but also through private endeavours such as hoarding resources. If the players collectively survive 7 harsh weeks without succumbing to the invasion, then the player with the highest score wins. If the kingdom falls, all players lose the game. Each round begins with the advance of existing monsters, the invasion of new monsters, and the appearance of one new disaster. Then, each player chooses a hand of 7 dwarf cards, and in turn order will take 5 actions. Actions can be to add a dwarf to the board, move a dwarf, spend money to recruit new and more powerful dwarf cards, or play music. The puzzle is for players to use these actions to defeat the threats. This requires gathering a sufficient group of dwarves at the site of a monster or disaster, then spending the resources and removing those dwarves to defeat the threat. The playing of music is the central unique mechanism in this game, accounting for a large part of the interplay and cooperative strategy. Each dwarf card in a player's hand is associated with one of the 4 musical instruments, and a player who takes the play music action chooses one of those 4 instruments to activate. All players around the table can then play any or all of their dwarf cards that matches that same instrument. This is critical to collective and individual victory. Dwarf cards are the only ways to produce or trade the resources needed to defeat threats, and they can also grant movement actions without which the players simply don't have enough actions to win the game. Timing is critical. Dwarves often need to be spread across different spaces of the correct terrain type in order to produce. And so on the cooperative hand, music needs to be played when the board layout is optimal to maximise resource production. But on the competitive side, players also need to make sure that one particular player isn't benefiting disproportionately from the music action, pocketing extra points that will deliver a personal victory. The cooperative survival challenge is made more difficult by the monsters and the disasters. A space will not produce if there is a monster or a disaster present on it, and players will suffer penalties such as the loss of resources or action points when monsters advance on their dwarves, robbing players of already scarce action points. Players will usually, although not always, be able to see what's coming, and so contingency planning for the unforeseen remains important. If the team can survive 7 rounds without triggering a loss condition, then players add up their scores. Players score for the cooperative goals of the monsters and disasters they've personally defeated, and the improved dwarf cards they've recruited. Players also score for the purely selfish goals of hoarding resources and contriving to have all dwarves back at home at the end of the game. The player with the highest score wins. Overall, this is a difficult game to win by semi-cooperative standards, and players should prepare to put some significant cooperative effort into achieving a victory. How players work within these tight constraints to squeeze extra points for a personal victory without hurting the collective cause is what makes this game most special and interesting. The game also comes with a solo mode. The single player is granted additional resources and actions to balance the lower player count, and the player wins by surviving the winter. Success can then be assessed by comparing the final score with this table in the rulebook. And that's what to expect from Dwarfs Winter. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to see the other Dwarfs game in this series, Dwarfs Fall, you can watch Stella's short and sweet video. Link is given in the description below.
If you enjoy this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to us. You can do that by hitting the Meeple on the corner, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll know when we have new videos. You can also follow me on Instagram for my board games journey.
And finally, if you have any questions, comments or feedback, please write them in the comment section below.
Until next time!